Hey there, and welcome to day one of the Reclaim Your Holidays Challenge. I'm Kristen Hallberg, and I am going to be your guide over the next 5 days. And today we're going to start with the theme of magic. Now, when you think about the magic at the holiday season, there are a lot of stories that probably pop into your mind. There, of course, is the infamous Santa Claus or Saint Nicholas who slides down your chimney and leaves presents in your stockings. And that is one by far here, at least in the United States of North America, that is by far the most prevalent story of magic of Christmas, but it's not the only one. There are also a lot of other stories of different kinds of magic over the holidays. And when I think of magic, I always like to think of it as the wonder and awe. And so when I was a kid in particular, in addition to Santa Claus and his reindeer, there was also Frosty the Snowman who came to life. There was the Charlie Brown Christmas tree that miraculously turned into a beautiful tree despite starting out as this little scraggly tree. There is the wonder and awe that you feel when everything's lit up with Christmas lights. There is we don't always have a white Christmas here in the Pacific Northwest or in California for sure, where I lived as a little kid. But we tend to think of, the winter wonderland and the way that everything looks so beautiful under the snow. It's kind of a bit of magic and wonder in Hanukkah. And I will just fully up straight admit that I've always celebrated Christmas from the time I was a little. That was the holiday that we celebrated. I celebrate the solstice now as an adult more often. So I don't really know a lot about the magic of other traditions, but I did a little bit of research. And in Hanukkah, and again, forgive me if I get this wrong, but there's the magic of the oil lasting for the 8 nights. That is a magical bit. There are stories like the Snow Queen. There's just all kinds of stories of the magic of winter. In solstice, if you celebrate solstice, it's about the rebirth of the sun that was seen as a magical phenomenon, centuries ago, before the science and everything started to explain why that happens. So magic is not just Santa Claus, that's my point. It's all kinds of different aspects of this time of year. And so the questions that I would like to ask you, to have you think about on today, is from when you were a child, what were the aspects of magic that were a part of your holiday season? What were your feelings about that magic, both when you were a child and then again as an adult? And your perspective may have changed as an adult if you have children and your children have grown up. Likely magic was a bigger part of the celebration when your kids were littler than they are today. But I want you to think about how you feel about this theme of magic. And I'm not talking about necessarily the commercialization. That'll come later when we talk about the theme of generosity and abundance, the commercialization pieces of it. But right now I'm just really focusing on the magic of it, the mythology, if you will, of the holiday season. And I want you to think about how that felt to you as a kid, what traditions your families put into place that you still follow today, that you don't like but you still follow today, or things that you've changed. on your own and kind of dive a little deeper and think about the whys behind that. And we're gonna do some work on like mapping these 5 things for you later. So I also want you to give it a number between 0 and 5 of the importance of magic for you today, like right now, today, as you're watching this video, and give yourself a number of the importance of magic to you today. And let's see. And I think that's all we're going to think about today. You can write these down in a journal is the best way to do this. I always find when we just think about it and don't write it down, it's actually a different part of our brains that gets activated when we're either writing something down or typing it out. Different parts when we're typing it versus writing it. And writing it down, even if it's just, your own shorthand, a couple of notes here or there, or if you're the artistic sort, if it makes more sense to you, sorry about the dogs, they're fighting over there. You can, draw a sketch, draw some pictures of your idea of what, of how you feel about the magic of the holiday season today and as you were young. So, and also just one more piece of that, if you grew up in a tradition outside of Christmas, let's say you're Jewish or you're Jehovah's Witness or, whatever way that you grew up, you might have some other feelings about how society as a whole in the United States and North America tends to and again, we're not talking necessarily about the commercialization, but just the way that Santa Claus is brought into every conversation and, the comparisons, just how, like if that was a part of your holidays growing up, or if your family was poor or you were a foster child or, whatever it is, some way that maybe this Santa Claus figure did not feel like a amazing magical figure to you, or some of the other magical traditions did not feel good to you. Make sure that you capture that too, because that's an important part of the process that we are talking about today. So that is it for day 1. And don't forget to give yourself a number between 0 and 5 of how important this is for you. And I'll see you again tomorrow for day 2.